Welcome to Aqua Platycodon, where more useless knowledge gets unlocked. It's now 2025, and Trump has been back in office for a few months. His foreign investment policies are already shaping the global economy, especially in regions like Africa and Latin America. His strategy is clear: cutting foreign aid, imposing trade barriers, and pressuring countries to pick a side. The goal is to make America stronger by forcing these nations to depend more on the US. But here's the problem. The world isn't the same as it was during his first presidency. And it's definitely not the same as it was when he built his worldview decades ago. Trump grew up in an era when the US was the world's undisputed superpower. If America pressured a country, there was no alternative. The US controlled global trade, led in technology, and dictated the rules. His entire life experience reinforced the belief that America could always get its way through sheer dominance. And for a long time, that was true. But today, things are different. The US no longer has the same level of absolute control. If Washington withdraws investment, developing countries can turn to China, the European Union, or regional trade agreements. The global economy is more decentralized, and pressure tactics that once worked now risk backfiring. That's why some people online have been calling Trump Chuan Jianguo, which in Chinese means Trump the nation builder. The joke is that, while he wants to weaken China, some of his policies might actually be helping it grow stronger. Take the trade war. His tariffs and sanctions were supposed to cripple Chinese companies, but instead, they accelerated China's push for self-reliance in semiconductors, 5G, and AI. What was meant to slow China down actually made it double its efforts. Then there's the issue of global influence. Trump pulled the US out of major international agreements in his first term, and now he's continuing that trend. But withdrawing from organizations doesn't weaken them. It just creates a gap that China is happy to fill. Without competition from the US, China's role in global governance keeps expanding. And then there's the pressure to pick sides. Trump wants other nations to choose between the US and China, but many countries don't want to be caught in the middle. Instead of siding fully with the US, some are actually strengthening ties with China to keep their options open. So even though Trump's goal is to curb China's growth, some of his decisions might be having the opposite effect. That's why people joke about him being an undercover agent working for China. Of course, it's just a joke. But like all jokes, it exists for a reason. The real issue isn't that Trump's strategy is completely wrong. If it were still the 1980s or 1990s, it might have worked brilliantly. Back then, America had overwhelming dominance, and other nations had no choice but to comply. But today, the world has changed. Applying old strategies to a new reality doesn't always bring the same results. If Trump really wants to make the US stronger, he might need a different approach. Simply repeating hardline tactics from the past may not be enough. It might take something more creative to truly regain America's edge. That's all for today. Thanks for watching Aqua Platycodon. See you in the next one.